this is where Solzhenitsyn comes in. Okay? He was part of this third wave of, where did all the people go? Who were these people? Okay? Stalin is famous for using show trials. Okay? In fact, the show trials were shown on Western TV, and we actually, in a lot of ways, thought that these people were guilty of what they were accused of. The West was incredulous when they watched that. You can still see raw footage. One of the most interesting things is I've been looking for a good clip that I could show you rather than talk the whole time about the purges and the terrors. History Channel has eliminated them. So the only thing you can find is ones that have no scholarly background, or believe it or not, last night I was looking, going, okay, I'll make one more effort. Apologists for Stalin. It was needed to move through the revolutionary sequence. It was needed to, it was, like, okay, I can't show any of those in class. It's bad enough to have to talk about it, to see somebody apologize for it. Okay? And there's more apology for Mao, who killed more people. Okay? Anyway, so here we go, three show trials. Again, think about he's ruthless and paranoid. Ruthless and paranoid, okay? 1936, 37, and 38 is when the main show trials were. 36 was a trial of the 16. If Trotsky had still been in the Soviet Union, he would have been amongst this first group. They were the immediate rivals to Stalin. Amazingly, they all confessed to being enemies of the revolution. And within 24 hours of arrest, they were all executed. They had a trial, and they all confessed. Okay? If you're interested in this, a great artifact would be Arthur Koestler's Darkness at Noon, where he writes a book of what this purge looked like, what this show trial looked like. So if you're interested in that, I have a whole list of readings connected to this topic if you're interested in doing an artifact in this area. 37, it was a military show trial. So he took all the, okay, World War II is going to break out in Russia in 1940. 1937, he's arresting and killing all the well-trained military leaders. Okay. Stalin, not a long-term thinker, right? So when Germany invaded Russia and Stalingrad in 1940, the military leaders were gone. All they had was raw, young, inexperienced, or frankly, bad military leaders. Okay, so that was the second wave, 1941. And in 1938, and this is where Solzhenitsyn comes in, public intellectuals, just massive wide sweeps of Russian society, arresting anyone, remember Stalin, paranoid and ruthless, anyone who might pose a threat to the communist regime. Intellectuals, artists, professors, you get the idea. Okay, innocent Russians sent to concentration camps and gulags, and very harsh conditions, and many of them died. I don't have a number, probably 50% or higher. Okay, but don't quote me on that one. Okay. All right. Okay. You don't have to write what's at the bottom. But here you go. Lately, you might have been hearing that Stalin said, "Show me the man and I'll show you the crime." Stalin never said that. Okay? That was his basically his police henchman, Lavrenti Beria, who basically put into place all of these brutal techniques of arresting rivals. Okay? But he did say something along this line, even the innocent, show me the person, I'll show you the crime, or something along that way. Okay? All right. All right, number 7, the cult of personality. Somebody over here said Papa Joe. Okay? There are pictures of Stalin in most Russian homes or Soviet homes. Okay? Papa Joe, Uncle Joe. Okay? So there's this disinformation. Is he this brutal Soviet dictator, who arrests people on the street? Yes. Or is he Papa Joe, what we see in the propaganda? And the truth of the matter is, the propaganda machine, you see this in the Soviet Union. You always see it associated with totalitarian regimes of the 20th century. We'll look at Mao, we'll look at Hitler, same thing. The idea of this elevation of the cult of personality. Okay. How many of you guys have ever read any of Orwell? Animal Farm? All are equal, but some are more equal than others. Papa Joe was more equal than others. Okay. Point number 7. Point number 8. Okay. Sometimes the gulags are associated only with Stalin, that he started them. Wrong. Okay. Lenin started the gulags and Stalin perfected them. Okay. You can see this is a map of Russia, and you can see gulags and basically work camps from one border to the other, from 1923 to 1961. Okay. Okay. If you're interested in looking more at these, okay, I'm just going to show you a couple of quotes. But the woman at the bottom, her name is Annie Applebaum, wrote a Pulitzer Prize winning book that gives the history of the gulags. It was that the records of the Kremlin were closed. Even for decades after the fall of communism, you couldn't get in and see the Soviet archives. Those since have been opened. And so American and Western scholars have gone in, and one of the leading scholars, her name is Annie Applebaum, who wrote a book, it's about this thick, on the gulags. How many people died, where they were, how people were transported there, how people survived in the gulags. Again, another good artifact if you're interested.